everybody. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Can I spin this around when I'm doing a live? I don't think so.
Yeah,
How do I do it?
there, up top.
Oh, here we go. Hello, technology. This is where we are right now. This is my parents' home in Austin. Loving Austin, especially when it's not super hot, and it's not super hot right now. So I wanted to come on today and first just acknowledge all my sisters, all the women in the world, because yesterday was National Women's Day. International Women's Day. And I was wondering, when is there a Men's Day? Is there a Men's Day?
I'm not sure. Every day. Every day.
Whoa. You just set us backward 100 years. He's kidding. He's totally kidding.
No, I'm not. Every day is a man's day. Every day is a woman's day.
How about every day is a human's day?
Every day is a sentient being's day.
Yeah, sentient being's day. There we go. Okay. Now we're politically correct again. Okay, good. Oh, I see people sending love from the UK. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on. I wanted just to jump on and speak a little bit today about this guy over here, because I love celebrating women. I love celebrating my sisters. I host women's retreats. I am all for women's empowerment and celebrating women and supporting each other and lifting each other up. And I think it's really important not to leave out the men, because honestly, I feel like I am a more loving, more grounded, more peaceful woman because of the men in my life. I'm going to get to this guy in a moment. You look super interested in what I'm saying, by the way. Oh, he's enjoying the view. Okay.
Absorbing the view and listening to you.
But even before I met him, I felt very supported by men in my life. My father has always been a champion for me. Male friends who were there for me, especially during all my single years. People that I've worked with. Men who lift my luggage up when I'm traveling alone. I really love the masculine, and I love the beautiful dance that can happen between the masculine and feminine. And so often we're kind of pitted against each other, and we look for more how we're different than how our differences really can create harmony, both in the outer world and more importantly in our inner world. And it's so important to heal any kind of misunderstandings or wounding we have with the opposite sex, because actually any wounding or judgments or irritations or anger we have towards the opposite sex, any challenges we have with the opposite gender, are actually revealing internal challenges we have between our masculine and feminine side of us, because we all have both. We all have masculine and feminine energies inside ourselves. So when we talk about masculine and feminine energies, masculine doesn't just mean, oh, I just hit you in the face, the male gender, and feminine just doesn't mean the female gender. We both have those energies inside of us. Now, as a woman, I individually identify as more feminine. My feminine energy really leads and my masculine energy supports me, whereas this one, over here, I keep calling him this one. His name is Stephanos. He definitely identifies as a masculine man in his masculine leads, but he also is very in touch with his feminine. And I just really wanted to take a moment and acknowledge a masculine man who's doing the work, because men doing the work is just as important in today's day and age as women doing the work. We all need to be doing the work. What does doing the work mean? Doing the work really means growing in our consciousness. It means letting go of any pain, anger, resentment, blame, generational patterning, societal programming that has held us back. Letting go of any of the, pardon my French, shit that keeps us separate, that keeps us judging the other, and that keeps us perpetuating patterns that really, really aren't serving us. So I wanted to highlight 3 of the masculine characteristics that Stephanos really embodies, because maybe that will help you, men watching. Maybe it will help you heterosexual ladies who are with a man or are looking for a man to really clue in on what characteristics are most important to you, and hopefully it will offer you some insight on the masculine inside of you. So, and these are in no particular order. The first one is integrity. And what I mean by that, you look serious. And if you have questions,
I'm thinking, yeah.
You're thinking, okay.
No, I'm listening.
And someone next to us is grilling, and oh my God, it smells so good.
Yeah, that actually took me away as well.
It smells so good. That's where your mind was.
Yeah, probably.
It was on food.
Yeah.
Fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Actually, fastest way in my heart is through my stomach too. Okay, so integrity. And what I mean by that is he really walks his talk. You know, anyone that follows Stephanos, if you don't follow him, go ahead and do that. he writes these posts, and they're informative, they're inspirational, they're transformational, they're really transmissions. And it's not just a bunch of hooey. Like, he really lives it. And the reason why this quality is so important to me is because it makes me feel safe. And as a woman, I'm sorry, ladies, I know we're independent, I know we can take care of ourselves and all of those things, but it is so important for the feminine to feel safe. And I don't just mean that he could, like, protect us in a street fight. I mean that I feel safe to be vulnerable. I feel safe to fully express myself. I feel safe to be in my truth. I feel safe to let go of control. I feel safe to let my feminine lead. And in so much of my life and in my business, my masculine is leading a lot of the time, because I've been an entrepreneur. I was on my own for a lot of times, and I always had to catch myself because I was too in my masculine. And how I dropped into my feminine side of myself was I had to really feel safe with myself, safe in terms of protected by a higher power. But there's nothing like really feeling safe. Number 2 is his attentiveness. No, just kidding.
Yeah, there's nothing more than really feeling safe with.
I'm
all over
just teasing you.
I know.
Just teasing you. There's nothing to me that makes me feel more safe than knowing that he walks his talk and he is his word. He could go to Vegas with a group of guys. I wouldn't have a second thought. I can reveal my biggest fears or be completely messy, and he's going to support me. I can totally be in my power. Like last weekend, I was speaking to an amazing group at my friend Lori Harder's event, and I was up on stage talking to 500 people. All these people came up afterwards, and he was there grounding me, supporting me, and just being my biggest champion. And that made me feel safe to shine. So that integrity, it involves a lot of things, but mainly the thing that it really is about is safety. The other thing that actually is a beautiful quality of the masculine and of Steph in particular, and he teaches all this stuff, by the way, and I'm going to tell you how you can learn from him. So men, you can learn from him, and ladies, you can send your man the link, is clarity. He is clear on who he is, on where he's going. Even if he doesn't know exactly how it's going to look like, he's clear on his vision, he's clear on his values, and he's 100% clear that he wants to be committed to me. And that was there from the beginning. And that kind of clarity from a man, again, helped.
It was there before I met you.
It was there before you met me. Yeah, speak to that. I'm totally taking over.
Well, this is your Instagram, so I'm glad that you're speaking.
Well, you're my guest.
I'm your guest.
A good interviewer has to let a guest speak, right?
And so the clarity that Christine's referring to was, I came to the conversation, I came to us connecting and bonding and sharing with a vision for who I wanted to be in the world, which I was actually acting in. I was living that vision.
That's the integrity thing.
That's the integrity thing. And also the only way I was able to live that was from a place of clarity, not confusion. And the reason I know that so well is because I came from so much confusion. And so I lived a very disparate, disconnected life. I'd start something, I wouldn't finish it. I'd start something else, I wouldn't finish it. I'd want something, but then I wouldn't want it. I'd be back and forth, and I was
inconsistent.
Just completely inconsistent.
When there's no clarity, there's massive inconsistency.
I was consistent at being inconsistent. And so when I came to Christine, when we were introduced to each other, I came with a very clear vision of who I was and what I wanted, whether it be in friendship, whether it be in relationship, deep intimacy, romance, where I wanted to see, where I saw myself in 5, 10, 50, 20 years, 100 years time, whatever it may be. And yes, I do believe I'm going to live for at least 140, 150.
Oh, God.
But the point was that I carried that clarity. Now, that's not to say that clarity doesn't change and it doesn't shift. It does, and I communicate that with clarity. Mm-hmm. And I honestly haven't always been that way. I didn't know myself in that respect. I didn't know what I wanted and who I was and where I was going. I didn't know what I could offer others. So self-worth was really tied into this as well. And I didn't know who I could actually be. And so the journey for me in unraveling and unpacking all that has been quite tremendous, and it's led me to experience this beautiful woman, this amazing human being, and of course other amazing friendships that have flourished because of that clarity, speaking specifically to clarity.
And when we got introduced, when my friend was like, oh, let me find out if he's single, I said, please don't ask if he's single, because I had learned enough about men and men's journey, and I knew that until a man is clear in himself and he is ready to commit, it's torture. It's torture because you don't know where you stand, and you feel back to feeling unsafe, and you feel like you can't really let go, and it's like it produces so much anxiety in the feminine to be with a man who's not clear. Romantic relationships especially, but you can think of any relationship you've had with anyone when they're not clear or they waver. It just is frustrating and produces a lot of anxiety. So I said to her, please don't find out if he's single. Please find out if he's relationship ready, like if he wants a commitment. And for a while I wasn't clear inside myself. I was like, whatever, like people can just get to know each other and da 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 da. And I kept bringing in like emotionally unavailable men who weren't ready to commit. When I finally got clear inside myself, and because the feminine can be very clear as well. The feminine is super discerning, super intuitive. Everybody thinks the feminine is this la-ti-da, floaty state, whooshing all around, like fuzz is blowing through the wind. And that's not the feminine. The feminine is fierce and the feminine is clear. And the feminine can flow and surrender, but we have that discernment.
As
so
we
that
know,
clarity.
You've been flowing lately, huh?
Yeah, well, that sounds disgusting.
You've been flowing.
I've been very flowy. I've been a little moody lately.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of emotions. I'm home with my family. So
You've been flow.
So that can sometimes, bring up the feels.
I
I'm with a man.
You've been excreting fluids. I said you've been in flow.
He's so embarrassing me. So I've been with a man that makes me feel safe. So I can be in that. Now, you're probably wondering, before I get to the third thing, because I mentioned it, how do you go from being unclear and have all this wounding about being a man to having integrity and having clarity? Well, this is what this man over here teaches. If you go to reclaimyourkingdom.com, that's correct, right?
Yeah.
Reclaimyourkingdom.com, you can get some insight into his program. It's amazing. I've actually looked at it. You're going to type it in?
Yeah, while you're talking.
Okay. It's just an incredible program, and here's the deal. I'm living with and engaged to the result of this program, and it has my 1000% endorsement. I was holding for this kind of relationship and this kind of man for many years. A lot of people told me it doesn't exist. I'd have to compromise. If you want a conscious man, he's going to be a little feminine. If you want a masculine man, he's not going to be conscious. I mean, I heard so much BS, but I really held for this quality of relationship, and I'm so glad I did. And I'm so glad that he teaches other men his journey. So reclaimyourkingdom.com. Okay, third thing. Oh, I'm really in my feminine brain. I just forgot, and I had it. Hold on, give me a second. The third thing is growth mindset. And that encompasses so much. I know that he prioritizes his growth, which means when we get in an argument or when something isn't working in his life, instead of blaming me or blaming the outside world, he takes full responsibility. And he has that growth mindset, and he's able to ask, how is this happening for me, not to me? And yeah, he's a man, so sometimes he gets frustrated and goes and hits the boxing bag, but he knows how to take. Hits the boxing bag? How should I say it?
Boxing bag.
Show him how I punch.
Hey, you punch.
How I punch. Oh, I'm a little better than that. Wait. No. Okay. Well, it kept pausing because our humor is busting the bandwidth.
Busting the bandwidth.
So I'll start wrapping this up. So growth mindset, like willing to take responsibility, so he's not, like the other thing is like I cleared out so much of my baggage. I didn't want somebody that had a ton of their own baggage. Like everybody comes with stuff, but it's how we relate to our stuff. He knows what his stuff is. He knows what his triggers are. He takes responsibility for them, and he's able to communicate to me what his triggers are, what his wounding is, and teach me how to love him. Well, in a lot of ways I intuitively know, but there's a lot that he's taught me in terms of how to love him. And because he's able to express in that way, I'm able to express my needs. So we're very intuitive and very connected to each other, but we also know we're not mind readers. And so we speak our needs to each other, and that really is a growth mindset. And we support each other's growth too. He's always a champion for me, working with people, going on adventures, learning, connecting, and he prioritizes this too. So yeah, like someone said, you really set your partner up for success, and I think too many people set their partners and just people in general up to fail, and they collect evidence against them, and that's no bueno for anyone involved. So So those are my 3 things. I could go on and on. Integrity, clarity, growth mindset. Would you like to say anything in conclusion about, first of all, how amazing I am? Just kidding. And then anything else you'd like to add?
Well, you are, because I wouldn't be with you if you weren't.
Yeah, that's true. We're just a really good fit.
We are. We're a beautiful fit, and we recognise that, and we honour that, and we continue to take action on that. I'll speak to Reclaim Your Kingdom because it truly is a product of my own personal journey and a product of deep and profound research, academic research into gender studies, into masculinity, and what it means to be a man in contemporary times, really combined with legitimate, genuine practices that we can engage in as men to help us be better men. There's two things the program covers in essence.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah, of course.
And this is not to diss anything else, but I've looked at a lot of the stuff out there on masculinity, and it's surface. It doesn't really go deep enough. From my perspective, I haven't seen everything, but he geeks out on this stuff, and it's everything from like Eastern mysticism to biohacking to I don't even know what else.
Neuroempowerment practices, Western psychology, gender studies.
Lots of big words, but it's relatable and understandable.
Yeah, but beyond that, it teaches us how to be good at being men and how to be good men, and we open up that discussion. And to be honest, the most important thing is the community that attracts and the community that it builds. And I feel so blessed, so humbled, so honoured to be part of this and to be. When I say to be a leader in the space, to be a leader of myself, like everything that this program carries, I have tried and tested myself. I continue to try and test myself. I am continually iterating. Yeah, continually. Like every week, my ideas are evolving on masculinity as I'm exposed to amazing authors and teachers and coaches and great minds out there, both men and women, that are speaking to how can we operate as a more cohesive, connected society, right?
And we talk about it together. He doesn't just study masculinity in a vacuum. He bounces it off the feminine. And we talk about it together because, yes, we're different genders, but like really, like I think that's a big part of how the consciousness is going to shift and how the world is going to shift in so many ways, is that the masculine and feminine are going to come in more harmony. And I want to say, I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off, but and we'll go soon. The other thing is when we first moved in together, he was teaching this program. And so I was around when he would do his weekly calls with the men. And a lot of times they're in the morning, like 7 a.m. And he would like get up early and do his meditation and be super excited. And the night before he's like, I got my RYK call in the morning. And I'd hear him in the other room, just like being such champions for this men. And also like not letting them slack off, like really calling these men forward in a very like fatherly, loving coach, brother kind of way. And I always love hearing you on these calls. You really give a lot. You really are such a love. Yeah. Thank
you, darling. And it is about that. And it's not only about having this very deep discourse and bringing this narrative to greater awareness within our communities, but it's also having these conversations with other brothers. It's definitely about having this conversation with yourself. I teach a great deal of self-reliance, and beyond that, it's about having the conversation with the brothers and having the conversation with the feminine as well. And so this becomes such an empowering practice for us as men. And so I'm super excited to see not only, I mean, the next one commences March 11th, so it's in 2-3 days. And it's super, super exciting. 2-3 days, depending where you are in the world. No, that makes no sense. It's 2 days. It's
as far as I know, it's only March 11th.
March 11th.
Where you live.
That's it. Yeah. That's where we commence the next iteration. And this is actually the last iteration of this kind. The next one is moving into a new curriculum, which is still epic, and this will be reserved for deeper learning because there's just so much substance in this.
This one, like, I actually was like, this is too much.
Way too much.
This is too much content for what it's priced at. Like, this is like deeper work. So if you get in this RYK, you really are getting what's going to soon be the VIP program at the baseline price. So it's an incredible offer. So go to reclaimyourkingdom.com and check it out.
Check it out. And thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging around. Thank you for listening to us and being supportive, and many blessings on your day too.
And ladies, thanks for sending your men there, because there are good men in the world.
Many.
And it's just like, how do we support that even more and bring more harmony and love into the planet? All right, everybody. Time to go get a pedicure. Love you.